Get out of here and don't come back.
It seems that we take animation for granted nowadays. With so many different styles and technology that is forever advancing, it's easy for us to forget the amount of artistry that goes into every single frame. But maybe the most complex and underappreciated style of animation is stop motion. Stop motion animation is produced by artists moving an object in very small increments and taking photos of each adjustment. When these pictures are played back in sequence at an appropriate speed, the illusion of movement is created. This technique dates all the way back to the late 1800s. While the technique was often used for small segments in live-action films, like King Kong, full-length stop-motion features make the most memorable use of the art form. Think about classic Christmas films with clay characters, or Tim Burton animated features. In fact, The Nightmare Before Christmas, which Burton produced, is maybe the most well-known stop-motion film to date. Stop motion is, without a doubt, one of the most labor-intensive forms of filmmaking. Every tiny movement is either an adjustment of the characters, or the sets, or the props, and so on. The artist can't overlook even the tiniest of details. A character blinking, for example, requires the artist to swap out the eyes of the puppet for just a single frame.
Down here and around us we have individual sets of blinks for all the characters. They're specially cut and shaped. Even for something as simple as a blink, we have to replace the lids each time.
Think about all the work that goes into making sure that the character's lips match up with the inflection of the voice actor's dialogue.
So each of these we would know from this, like frame 90 for instance is an M. So we would know then on that particular frame the mouth of Dad would be going into an M.
On average, about a week's worth of work on a stop motion feature equals about 1 to 2 minutes of actual footage. Let's take a look at this scene from the stop motion film Kubo and the Two Strings. This skeleton puppet is 16 feet tall and took over 6 months to build and was filmed with for over a year. The final result, less than 50 seconds of actual footage. So why go through all of this effort when other forms of animation are cheaper, faster, and more realistic? The visual aesthetic of stop motion creates an entirely different tone than, say, 3D animation or motion capture. Imagine if The Nightmare Before Christmas was made using traditional hand-drawn animation. It would surely lose its surreal creepiness which has made the film so beloved and enduring. Imagine if Wes Anderson's Fantastic Mr. Fox or Isle of Dogs ditched stop motion in favor of something like 3D animation. The films would lose all of their textures that enhance the whimsy and tweeness that we so heavily associate with the filmmaker. Notice how in this scene, the dust cloud is made using cotton rather than computer-generated images. It just lends a warm sense of life into the film. On the other hand, it can also lend an eerie sense of uneasiness. Unlike other forms of animation, stop motion uses real objects with real textures, and we can feel them. There's just something special about watching stop motion, knowing that each individual frame was meticulously crafted and poured over. Though newer, more advanced techniques may create something more realistic, no form of animation is more real than stop motion. Stop motion animation isn't just a technique, it's a filmmaking style of its own.
And every time we move,
it's actually them moving us.
Seems a bit tedious.
Like that, just there, me blinking. That would have taken them a day.
Me moving my arm. 500 men.
I mean, none of them are going home. They're having to do this bit.